And we want to go now live to a news conference just getting ready to get started in South Bend. Of course, we've been looking forward to hearing from the mayor about the damages, the road closures, and just giving us an update on this flooding happening.
Yeah, it's an emergency operations center now set up at the South Bend Central Fire Station, and the mayor is there to give us an update as to exactly what's going on, what's happening at not only there but also around the region as people are dealing with flooding, not only in their homes, they're dealing with flooding. As we can see the mayor there, we're preparing to start. We're going to toss it out to Kristen Bean and hear from the mayor on this emergency operations center from the flooding around the area this morning.
Got it. All right. All right, everybody ready? Thank you. First of all, thanks for joining us this morning. I know it's been a long night for a lot of us. Last night's rains have set a record for 24-hour rainfall in the city of South Bend. Some parts of the city have recorded approximately 7 inches, and we've got more rain in the forecast. This has led to flooding in many areas of the city, and there has been damage to a number of homes. In addition, several streets have become temporarily impassable. Flash flooding has been particularly heavy in the southwest and south sides of the city. A number of vehicles have been disabled, leading to several rescue operations that took place overnight and this morning. And the flooding has also compromised a number of houses. We know of 2 houses at least that have collapsed. The occupants of those homes were evacuated and were not injured. Shortly after midnight, the Emergency Operations Center was activated here at the Central Fire Station, and it has been staffed through the night by representatives from County EMA, South Bend Police, Fire, Parks, and Public Works, as well as my office. I want to get into a few things that people need to know as they wake up to this and begin their day around the city. First of all, this is not a normal weather event, and we can expect more rain today. Even when it is not raining, we're going to see some areas with further flooding as certain bodies of water, tributaries and creeks start to overflow. So we are asking all residents to avoid any non-essential travel and to stay off the roads if you possibly can. We also want to advise a number of emergency road closures, which I'm going to turn in a moment to Captain Noonan from the police department to share in detail, and we'll also put out and do our best to update during the day. If you do need to drive, avoid those closed areas until we can confirm that they're passable. Additionally, I want you to be aware that some disabled vehicles are going to remain in the roadway and they may not have lights on, so drivers are going to need to keep their eye out for disabled vehicles as well. For those whose homes have been compromised by flooding, the Red Cross is operating a shelter that is at the O'Brien Center, which is a city parks facility located at 321 East Walter Street. That facility has cots, blankets, air conditioning, and snacks available. If anybody is not able to reach the O'Brien Center, we're also opening up the Martin Luther King Center, and we're going to be directing resources there based on what need and demand we see during the day. The Animal Center has opened early, is fully staffed for intake of any animals displaced as a result of the storms. I want to stress again, you're going to see water levels receding in some places, rising in others as the water flows through town. So just because you see an area that seems like the water is low now, doesn't mean we're out of the woods, especially as we're seeing additional rain, even though we do believe that the heaviest rains have already passed. So we are, again, urging everybody to use extreme caution, stay off the roads if you can. If you have to be on the roads, please avoid the areas that are most compromised. Let me turn it over to Captain Steve Noonan from the police department. He's going to run through a list of the areas that we can tell you right now are not passable to vehicles at this time.
Thank you, Mayor Pete. Good morning. Currently, the intersections or the roads that are closed is Ireland Road, east of Ironwood to Ironwood Trail, Twickenham from south of Ewing and north of Woodside, Washington Street, westbound from Cayley Street and eastbound from Falcon Street. The area of Fox in Michigan, in St. Joe and Michigan, we'd especially ask that no pedestrian traffic go in that area as well, as there's been some instability in that area due to the rain. Maine south from Indiana will be closed. Michigan at Don Moyer northbound will be closed. Ewing at Fellows westbound traffic will be closed. Ewing and Franklin eastbound traffic will be closed. And finally, Corby and Manchester eastbound is closed. And from Hickory north to Corby Street is closed as well due to a retention pond that's overflowed the road there. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. So just before going to questions, again, I want to take the opportunity to stress that this is not a normal weather event. I want to thank the first responders as well as our 911 dispatch personnel and all of the city personnel who have been responding, working through the night to deal with this emergency. They've done so with professionalism and diligence, and the work is certainly going to continue at least through today. So we're asking residents to help our emergency personnel do their job by avoiding any non-essential travel, avoiding flooded areas, and paying close attention to further updates, announcements, and weather reports. And with that, happy to take a few questions before we get back to work.
People needed to be rescued from their cars by fire crews and first responders.
That's right. Yeah, there were a number of vehicle rescues through the night. Also, a couple of, at least a couple of houses that were compromised, and we may continue to see some of those during the day. Some of those disabled vehicles are still there, so be on the lookout for those.
We had heard perhaps there was a firefighter might be taken to the hospital. Is that accurate?
I'll refer you to the fire chief. Not aware of anything that would confirm that.
No, we have not sent a firefighter to the hospital today. I don't know if that.
I also heard that there was a sinkhole at Fox Street that needed engineers to look at. They were concerned that there would be more evacuation.
Right.
Is that the case?
I'm going to go ahead and defer that to Eric Korvoth, our Public Works Director.
Yeah, so at Bowman Creek there is quite a bit of erosion because it can't handle all the flow. And so we will be evaluating all of Bowman Creek as it gets light.
Any other roads where there's been instability caused because of the flooding?
We've not found any. We've closed a number of roads though because they were overflowing and it could cause instability underneath. So we will be monitoring that as it gets light and look for any potential. But you do need to be careful because sometimes underneath the road you just don't know where the flow is going. And the water is just, it's a tremendous amount of flow in those sewers that could be washing away stuff underneath. And so we'll monitor those. If anyone sees sinkholes, notify the city and we'll take a look at them.
Did you have to evacuate any other areas besides what's down Bowman Creek?
No.
What do you advise people who might approach these flooding waters in their cars? Stay in, try to get out?
Turn around and get away from the area that's flooded. We've even seen some pedestrians approaching floodwaters. Don't do that. Stay away whether you're driving, whether you're on foot. Our emergency personnel will be able to find the areas where the roadway is compromised. So we're really asking people to call 911 in case of an emergency. If you see a sinkhole, something like that, we're going to want you to call 311, which will be up and running later this morning.
Any injuries that were reported specifically?
I think it's too soon for us to have a tally on that, but we'll continue to update through the day as we get more information. And again, we're not going to totally know what we're looking at until the sun's up. Obviously, we've had personnel working through the night, but we're continuing to take stock of some of the damage that's taking place, and there may be further issues with the rainfall that's continuing. So that's why, again, we're urging everybody to err on the side of caution, and if you don't have to drive, don't drive.
Is the city doing anything to prepare for this overnight, early morning?
Yeah, as soon as it became clear that we were facing greater rainfall than forecast, communication began among the different emergency personnel within the city and also with the EMA, leading to the decision shortly after midnight to go ahead and set up activate the EOC here at the Central Fire Station. Since that time, we've had coordination among all the different agencies. It really is an all hands on deck effort.
South Bend schools start tomorrow. Does this cause any delays there?
We'd have to refer you to South Bend Schools on that. Obviously, we're trying to make sure that we're doing everything we can to provide good information about the conditions of the road infrastructure so that they can make good decisions.
Right now, of course, you're telling people to not drive unless they have to. Do you anticipate the county issuing any sort of travel advisory, travel warning as they do in the winter when roads are untravelable?
At this time, we haven't had any indication of that. All right, thanks. We'll continue to keep folks updated during the day, and we'll look for a way through either our office or the emergency PIOs to let you know as hopefully some of those road closures can be relaxed later on during the day as the waters recede. Thanks.
And that's South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg talking about the flooding, saying flash flooding really impacting the south and southwest side of the city. They've had several rescue operations underway overnight, helping people get out of their vehicles. We know 2 homes have collapsed. Those people who were in those homes were evacuated, were not hurt. But what you need to know as you start your day today is that they want you to avoid any non-essential travel. Several roads are impassable, and several cars are still out in those roads. So you're going to want to watch out for those too, because he said they don't have lights on. You might not see them.
It's dark, and some of the notable, and remember now, this is just within the city of South Bend. We're not talking about all of St. Joseph County, which is also heavily impacted. Parts of Berrien County heavily impacted, parts of Marshall. Lots of areas affected this morning. This was only about in South Bend, but this is the list that the mayor just gave. Just a couple of highlights just to pass along here. Ireland Road east of Ironwood, that area is blocked off. Twickenham, Ewing to Woodside, in the area of Main Street from Indiana southward. That's a big stretch of roadway. You'll need to be aware of that. Michigan northbound traffic around Don Moyer or so. Ewing, a couple of different places at Fellows and again at Franklin. Hickory, we've seen some flooding issues on Hickory in the past. So the bottom line is this is just in the city of South Bend. That just gives you kind of a microscopic look at what is affecting the entire region, not just the city. And this is going to continue to be an issue.
If you can't stay in your home, the city has set up a Red Cross Center at the O'Brien Center on Walter Street.